Why do I feel like I'm hated for being who I am? I'm reading off my notes, but a 15-year-old asked me this week, and I'll be honest, it's the first question in a very, very long time that stumped me, and I haven't had an answer to it, like, at least within the first 15 seconds. This genuinely took me, like, a day of proper thinking to answer, and I'm actually dedicating this entire video just to answer and help him understand himself a little bit better. The reason that I'm making an entire video to it, and I'm not just hopping on a call with him and, explaining this type of stuff, is because I used to ask myself this exact question. And I know that because multiple people are coming across the same question, that there's more than just me and him that experience this, right? There's a reason that you're here right now, and it's because that question has either been asked by you or something similar. And my only purpose is to shed light on the question, help you understand where it's possibly coming from, and then find the solution that you're looking for, whatever that is. Because this is the premise of the video, and the premise of all of my videos is that the solution to your problems are up to you. I can't solve any of your problems, neither am I going to. You could pay me $1 million and maybe I'd be interested, but I don't care, I'll be honest. And no one else does, but that's the beauty, is you have full control over your life, as long as you think you do. I encourage you guys to let me know any of the questions you have. Ask anyone in our Discord or in our community, comment your questions on the video down below, because trust me, there's more than just you asking those questions to yourselves. And if I find a good question in the comments, or you find me on Discord or on my Instagram or something, and the question is good, and I think it relates to other people, I'm going to make a video on it. Trust me, because the whole purpose of this is that I can help other people realize that they are in control of their life, and the only limiting factor to taking advantage of who you want to become is you. That's it. There's nothing else to it. The reason I'm looking here, by the way, is because I'm reading my notes. The reason that the question, why do I feel like I'm hated for being who I am, stumped me is because I don't really have an answer to the question. I'll be honest. But what I can do is tell you how I answer that question for me. Because anecdotally, my life is the only thing that I can tell you about, and I could infinitely, or on a long enough time horizon, explain any situation, and it doesn't really apply to you or anyone else unless it's come from my experience, because it's not true. I have fucking flashlight in my eyeballs. There's a few roundabout answers that I want to get to, because the reason these types of questions come up in the first place is highly dependent on the framework that you have currently in your mind, which is completely changeable. And you need to understand that the way that a foundation of a building influences how it sways is the exact same with the foundation, which is your subconscious, influences the conscious thoughts that you have that come up throughout the day. The way that you react, say if someone screams at your face, it's not an instant reaction based consciously. It comes out of nowhere, right? You've trained yourself to react in a certain way. He was interacting with people at his school, wherever, in his social circles, and he found that being himself wasn't good enough, and he came to that conclusion by reading the other people, and two, he came to that conclusion because he was, let's say, vulnerable. He's in a vulnerable state where those types of negative questions come out of nowhere. But you need to understand there's two things. The subconscious mind is always solution based. You're always looking for solutions in your subconscious. Consciously, though, you're always looking for problems. And that harmony helps you solve things in your life, right? And when you access the subconscious mind through your conscious, you can solve a problem. But you can see here that his conscious mind was influenced by his subconscious, thus the why do I feel like I'm hated for being who I am question came up out of nowhere. So he's instigating a problem in order to find a solution. Because without a problem, you can't find a solution, right? So firstly, understanding that it's a subconscious reaction is that you're kind of just projecting. Why do I feel like I'm being hated for who I am? You can't control how anyone else feels. At all. Ever. Right? You can influence them, but you can't control them. So if I gave someone $1 million, or at least offered them $1 million for free, I can influence the way they feel, but the way they feel is up to them. How the foundation changes it is if I offer Jeff Bezos $1 million for free, his reaction based on his subconscious would be different to someone that I just find on the street. I guarantee you. There is a more emotionally felt answer for this question. No one really cares about you. No one really cares about me. Like, when did you last see someone on the street, anyone, for what they were wearing, for my pink shirt, and then, I don't know, 10 hours later from watching this video, I guarantee you're not thinking about me, right? And that's fine. But it's freeing knowing that no one thinks about you. No one cares about you. No one's going to remember you. How often do you think of Charles Darwin? How often do you think of Newton? These are historical people. They literally changed the way that the world works. And we don't think about them. Like, ever. Ever. And it's not a bad thing. I'm just saying. Really important quote that I like is, no one thinks about you more than you do. Ever. Because everyone else has themselves to think about. One thing that I try to understand, and I suppose it's different for me now because I've changed the way my subconscious works, is that you are being judged for everything you do. When you walk down the street, people are judging you. When you wear some funky ass clothes, people are judging you. Everyone judges. Everyone. Now, whether people react to the judgment or actuate, search that word up, whether people actuate the judgment by, let's say I have an opinion on someone, it's not really an opinion unless I at least tell someone else or them directly, right? Because if it's only in my mind and it hasn't been brought up into reality, then it's fake. Everything in my head is fake until I actually make it a reality. So I could talk to someone, I'm going to do this, going to do this, going to do this. It doesn't matter until I actually do it. This is why when you constantly talk about I'm doing, rather than just doing and letting the doing speak for itself, that's where you lose friends in the long run. And perhaps in this situation, you find that the people that you are interacting with have been observing you and judging you previously, and now that you've interacted with them and they see your previous actions, which were speak and not do, they don't like that, right? No one likes that. So you can be careful, you can apologize, you can hope for a second chance, but if someone doesn't want to be your friend, that's up to them. It's not up to you. But be happy knowing that you put yourself out there and you did what you could. You said, can I be your friend? And they said no. What of it? Move on to the next person. If you associate meaning with the rejection, then it provides pain. Whatever meaning you attach to something, that is what it means. $1 million, again, means something different to Jeff Bezos than it does to someone on the side of the road. 100%. And that's influenced by experiences, by subconscious, by the way you think, all of it. You interact with the world, and the world interacts with you. And you find the more you poke, the harder it pokes back. That's when it fucking hurts, but that's where you grow. You cannot grow in an easy situation. If it's easy, you're not fucking learning. And if you're not learning, you're stagnant. And there's no such thing as stagnant in this world, because if you're doing nothing, you're falling fucking down. So you either choose to learn and grow, or you sit here and do nothing. And the way that you react, and the way that you feel after an interaction, in this case being rejected by your friends, or supposed friends, or want to be friends, the way that you react to that situation is up to you. So if you want it to be influencing you for the rest of your life, go for it. I don't care. But what I'm telling you is that it doesn't have to be. At all. You could literally let go of it 10 seconds later. You could let go of it instantly. Or just go into the situation making it not mean anything. If you do or you don't receive the outcome that you want. Because the outcome cannot be changed by you. Like I said, it can only be influenced. That's it. You can only influence the outside world. You can change who you are, and that influence is external. But it doesn't change it. However the world changes is up to the world. However you change is up to you. So this is a good one. Say, for example, someone was staring at you. They may be in that moment thinking about you, judging what you're wearing, the way you walk, genuinely imagine all the things that they might be saying. Some good examples. This is stuff that even I'm guilty of. And I'm not saying it guilty as in it's a bad thing, I'm going to fucking jail, but someone might be saying, what an idiot, he thinks he's so good. He's got the Gucci on, or the Gucci belt, the Louis Vuitton wallet. Another person sees your shoes, and guess what their reaction is? Damn, that guy has really nice shoes, I kind of want those. What influenced his frame? Perhaps it was desperation. But the way that this first guy, damn, he's so good, coming from an egotistical state, the second guy says, I want those shoes, they're really cool. And then there's a third guy. The guy that perhaps you are right now. Right? And this framework is, damn, that guy's really cool, I wish I was his friend. It's the same person, they still have the same Gucci belt and the same Louis Vuitton wallet, but three different people have three different reactions. And the reason that is because their framework, their subconscious, their foundation is different to each other. And so you see how the influence of the external world changes who you are. You poke, it pokes back. That's just how it is. But the meaning assigned is up to you. There's 10,000 other examples of the way that people think. Everyone's foundation is a little bit different, so you might come to similar reactions between friends, and you'll find that your friends are really just the ones that react similarly to you, at least the ones that stick. That's what I've found. Out of all of those three different situations, all the three different frameworks, all the three different answers that these three example people gave, the world is still the same. You're still wearing the same clothes, the way that you think is still the same, nothing changed. They may not even have told you that, but unless they tell you, it doesn't influence you. And again, it doesn't even influence you unless you choose it to. And you're vulnerable to specific things based on how much weight you think those things have over you. If you're broke and you're not happy with the idea of being broke, and you don't ever tell anyone, which is fine, you don't have to tell anyone, but let's say a random guy in the street comes up, oh, you're so fucking broke, you're an idiot, you're a loser. Would that affect the person that cares about being broke more than it does the person who doesn't? Only ever limited by what you think you should be limited by. And in the case of you, you're looking at the situation of trying to gain friends as I'm not good at getting friends. And so if that's your framework, everything that you do is influenced by that idea, right? And so when you speak to someone on the basis of I'm not good at gaining friends, unless you explicitly explain that in the beginning of the conversation, it will highly change the way you speak because you're trying to please them. But if you go into the situation with this person and you're like, I'll be honest, I'm looking for new friends, but I fucking suck. I'm really shit at making friends. What's your name? Isn't that so much easier? You've just taken all the pressure off you. They now know that you think you're shit, so they're not judging you for it. Let's say you make a mistake, whatever that is, then you're free. If you want to be better, you have to put in the work, right? Just if you put in more work, like if I go into a new sales company, the top guy, obviously, he's a fucking gun, and I don't know how to do sales. To become better than him, I not only have to do more study, more work than him, I have to do it longer than him. He may have already been there for 3 years. So I have not only 3 years of work to catch up on, I have to get better than him. So I have to do more work, more time, while he's currently learning shit, which is like a 6 or 7 year gap, just to catch up. Because he's 3 years ahead. And now I have to not only catch up to where he is currently, I have to catch up to where he will be at the time that I catch up to where he is currently. So you got to put in 10 times the fucking work as the next person to even come in. And the comparison doesn't matter, but whatever you want to compare yourself to, the only comparison you should do is against you. Who was I 5 years ago? Am I better than him? Good, I'm on the right track. That's literally all you can do. But here it is. It takes time. You got to put in the effort. Everyone's going to tell you it's bullshit. The secret way. This is the last question I have for you. Seriously. Ask those questions. Hit me up in the Discord. Find me on Instagram. Shoot it in the comments, wherever you want to. I will respond to everything that you guys ask. But the question that you need to answer is, how long are you going to wait to let yourself be you in front of other people? How long are you going to wait? When you answer that question, you'll be free.